Thomas Tuchel became the first permanent England manager to win his first 2 competitive games in charge since Fabio Capello in 2008, after beating Albania and Latvia. But who were the winners and losers of his first camp? First up, you knew this one was coming, Miles Lewis-Skelly. He's got to be the first big winner. When England's international season started with a Nations League game against the Republic of Ireland last year, he had not even made his Premier League debut. Fast forward 6 months and his rapid ascent to the top with Arsenal and England is showing no signs of slowing down. He started both games, becoming the youngest player to score on his 3 Lions debut, and showcased his versatility, being able to both invert and perform in a more traditional left-back role. talkSPORT's own Scott Minto believes he could be an England pillar for years to come.
You know me, Faye, I'm not one to make sort of big headline statements, but I think he can be England's left-back for the next decade, stroke 15 years. You know?
I don't want to get too excited about it, but I'm excited about it.
So I do the All Access podcast with Sam Matterface and Alex Crook. I do it every Thursday with them. And we've spoken a few times about him. And obviously it's my position, so, you know, I have an opinion about sort of lots of different positions, but I have something obviously special about a full-back, but most definitely a left-back. Now, he's a midfielder. And I actually think that helps him a lot. And
he played in an 8 in the second half.
Right, so he'll have to make a decision in his head as to is he in the Arsenal first team just to play games right now and then eventually become that midfielder, or is he happy to be the left back for the rest of his career? If he's happy to be the left back for the rest of his career, I genuinely think with the ability that he's got, and if he's able to keep his feet on the ground and stay motivated, he can be England's left back for the next day. He can be like an Ashley Cole. Yeah. I think he can be that. Well, whether he can be as good as Ashley Cole, we'll wait and see. But I think he's got the attributes too.
Of course, Newcastle's Lewis Hall, when back from injury, will be looking to put a stop to Lewis-Skelly being Tuchel's number 1. But the Arsenal player has surely cemented himself in the manager's future plans. Next, it's Harry Kane. Considering last summer during the European Championships, he did disappoint. Many questioned his future with England, and Lee Carsley dropped the striker for that 2-1 defeat to Greece in the Nations League. It's safe to say that during this camp, he's reasserted himself as England's main man in attack, although some fans are not happy about his involvement.
I personally wouldn't have taken some of the players who are in the squad, like your Walkers, your Hendersons, and to be honest, with his performances in the last tournament where he was, again, dropping back too far, picking the ball up, passing it out to players, and then not being able to get up with play because the other players in the team are a lot younger and fitter. Harry Kane, to me, maybe should have been told, you've had your time, mate, now it's the time for somebody else, like your Watkins, your Solankis, even your Ivan Tonys. I just think we're not progressing as a nation. We're not picking people to go into a tournament for not just the World Cup, but for the next Euros, because Harry Kane's going to be almost 2 years older by the time the World Cup comes around. If he couldn't do it, you know, last time, what makes the manager and anybody else think he's going to be any fitter, any better in doing that job? Because he doesn't seem to want to stay up front. If he just stayed up front and scored goals, that's what people want to see him do. They don't want to see him in our half, getting the ball off people.
Maybe Thomas Tuchel will get that out of him, tell him to stop coming too deep and stay up as a striker. And he was injured, for sure, in the last tournament. So you're going to need players like Harry Kane, Kyle Walker for experience. Even if they don't start every game, you need them in that squad for that experience.
No disrespect to who we got in our group, but, you know, we shouldn't need people like Walker, Henderson and Kane as experience. So all those players are experienced in playing Champions League and Premier League matches. Some of them play in Europe, you know, Real Madrid. If they haven't got the experience to make that step into the England squad to do that, they shouldn't be picked in the first place. So that is a bit of a misnomer for me. and there's a bit of a cop-out.
Whatever fans may think, it doesn't hurt that Tuchel was a big fan of Kane during their time together at Bayern Munich, and goals in both games taking his tally to 71 is definitely a big positive. His closest active challenger when it comes to most goals scored for England is Marcus Rashford, who is 54 behind him. Although the player will be almost 33 years of age at the World Cup, he still looks like their standout name when it comes to an England goal scorer, and there is no way you can see England's most prolific goal scorer ever not being involved in the competition. Our final winner is Marcus Rashford. Now, this one may split opinion, as against Albania he wasn't great, but unlike Phil Foden, he did manage to keep his place for the Latvia game, and despite his end product not quite being there, he had a really positive impact, with Thomas Tuchel praising his efforts.
I think Marcus again showed today, especially in the first half, like the hunger and the desire to go again and again and again. Was not shy to take the dribblings, was more aggressive in his movements. Not everything fell into place, but the most important thing was that he showed this hunger and desire and the confidence in his abilities. We maybe lacked a little bit the support because Jude played very centrally and Miles Lewis-Skelly should support from the second line, but the information came a bit late in the half. Second half, we switched sides because we wanted the same aggressive Marcus and maybe a free right foot to have more deliveries from the side. But it did not suit him so well than the left side. And these are exactly the things that we need to learn and take away from these matches. We tried it, we saw it. It felt that we did not play into his cards. He did it for the team, which is also very, very good because we see that everyone is trying to play the role for the team. And we need also to understand it's for almost all players, it's a new style to play. They have to adapt. They come from different cultures. They come from different systems. Sometimes they play out of position here in the national team. So it's not always so easy. But the effort and the results and the process is started. The results are there, and it's a good way to continue.
He started on the left side for both games and managed to put 11 crosses into the box against Latvia and created 6 chances. He did lose the ball 36 times across both matches, far more than anyone else. But considering a few months ago many said he would never play for England again, could he be set for redemption? Now to the losers. I just mentioned him, it's Phil Foden. Over the last few years, it's been a bit of a rollercoaster for the 24-year-old. Last season, we saw a display for Manchester City that earned him the PFA Players Player of the Year award. This season, he's a shadow of that player under Pep Guardiola. And for England, he hasn't looked great. At last summer's European Championships, he was off his game, which many put down to him being played out of position. But his last goal involvement in a competitive international game now goes back to the 2022 World Cup. People were shocked to see the player in Tuchel's squad, and it's safe to say he did not impress when deployed on the right wing. So much so, he was replaced by Jarrod Bowen in the second game, with Tuchel even admitting that Foden and Rashford to a degree struggled to have the impact he expected. And talkSPORT's own Darren Bent was not impressed after Foden's first game.
Phil Foden again on that right-hand side. I mean, I hear so many people making so many different excuses for him that his best position is not on the left. It's a number 10. He can, or better off the right-hand side, and he played off the right, and he just looked like he had no confidence. Every single time he got the ball, he passed it back. Never really tried to take the fullback on. At least Marcus Rashford tried to be positive, tried to make runs in behind, trying to go past the fullback. So I think there was a little bit more coming from Rashford's side than Phil Foden's, but Foden just offered nothing. Because you look at him, Phil Foden, and he's been. I've said this before. He's been under Pep's kind of guidance his whole career. All he knows is Pep. All he knows is that system. Yeah. So when he comes to England, it just doesn't cross over. The same Phil Foden you see for Manchester City, it doesn't play that way for England. And I've heard people, they moaned at Gareth Southgate saying that, it's Gareth Southgate's fault, he's not getting the best out of him. Thomas Tuchel's come in and it's like, no, Phil Foden is in the wrong position. If you're asking me who I'd rather have, Bellingham or Foden as a 10, I'm taking Bellingham every single day of the week. I know, even if Bellingham's not playing well, he'll still offer you something. So it'll give you a big moment where you go, that's why you can't leave him out. You give Foden what he wants, and there's been nothing. And listen, he's a wonderful footballer. You'll never hear me say he's not. But for England, he just has never done it.
Questions will surely now be asked about whether Foden warrants his space in the starting 11. And with the likes of Bukayo Saka and Cole Palmer yet to return to England from injury, maybe Foden will find himself on the outs with teammate Jack Grealish. Now, Trent Alexander-Arnold may be looking forward to his big move from Liverpool to Real Madrid in the summer, but through no fault of his own, Reece James' impressive performance for England puts Trent in our loser category. Of course, the player was ruled out of the England squad due to injury, but his position as right-back is in serious jeopardy. It was great to see James return after so many injury setbacks, and he did not disappoint. A man-of-the-match level performance and an impressive free kick against Latvia reminded everyone of what he can bring to the table. Plus, his strong relationship with Tuchel from when they won the Champions League together at Chelsea means that if he can remain fit, he is definitely on Tuchel's radar. Trent has of course been brilliant for Liverpool this season, but his struggles with England when it comes to his position in the 11 are a concern. So it's safe to say Trent will be hoping for a seamless move to Los Blancos, as next season could be a big deciding factor for his England future. And here's talkSPORT's Alex Crook breaking down that move to La Liga.
Bad news as far as Liverpool are concerned, but maybe not that surprising. I was with Robbie Fowler last week, and obviously his big mate Steve McManaman made the same move from Liverpool to Real Madrid, and he suggested to me that Liverpool fans shouldn't come down too hard on Trent Alexander-Arnold, because this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to join probably the biggest football club in the world. But as you say, it's our understanding that Trent Alexander-Arnold has now agreed terms with Real Madrid. He will leave Liverpool on a free transfer when his contract expires at the end of the season. It will be a long-term deal, I understand, worth in excess of £220,000 a week. But it does end a long association with his hometown club. He first joined Liverpool, Trent Alexander-Arnold, back in 2004. He's played more than 250 Premier League games. He's won every domestic honour there is to win. And I guess the big question now is what happens with Virgil van Dijk and Mo Salah, the other two Liverpool players whose contracts are coming to an end.
Real Madrid have been confident about this for some time, haven't they?
Yes, they have, and I think actually the deal probably has been done for some time, because of course he was free to start formal talks in January with overseas clubs as a free agent this summer. I think out of respect to Liverpool, Real Madrid have kept them informed along the way, and I think really they wanted to keep it under wraps until the Premier League was won. Obviously they're out the Champions League now, so there's no prospect of Liverpool meeting Real Madrid in that competition. And I think he'll go with his head held high. I know there'll be some Liverpool fans who will be disappointed that he's made this decision to leave his hometown club. As I say, the allure of Real Madrid is too strong for most players, isn't it?
It's our understanding that Trent's been trying to keep this under wraps until maybe the title was run?
Yeah, I think so. I think in fairness, unlike Mo Salah, he's not really commented publicly on his contract situation. I think he's tried to be as respectful as possible to Liverpool, and he didn't want any kind of distraction or any kind of blame if Liverpool's title challenge did diminish. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. There's 12 points clear at the top of the table, and what a perfect way to bow out with the Premier League winners' medal once again around his neck.
Our final loser is Morgan Gibbs-White. You have to feel sorry for the player, as I'm not sure what else at club level for Nottingham Forest he could have done to get a look in when it comes to this team. First, he's not even selected and gets drawn in as a backup for an injured Cole Palmer, and then doesn't even get a single minute of playing time against Albania or Latvia. And Forest fans are not happy.
Let's go to Curtis, who's not a Forest fan. All right, Curtis?
All right, Curtis.
Hey up, lads, how you doing? You all right?
All right, mate. You all right?
Yeah, Sam, mate, not too bad.
Good stuff. What do you want to say?
Well, the main thing is I just find it amusing how Morgan Gibbs-White has not got a minute on the pitch over the two games. Like, I just find it's been the best number 10 in England.
Bellinham's been the best number 10 in Spain.
The substitutions, we was 3-0 up and he's brought Henderson, Kyle Walker and Curtis Jones on. He got called up late because of or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Whatever it was.
Got out, wasn't it, basically?
Yeah. Well, maybe he doesn't think he's ready yet.
Called him up to the squad. I think he's publicly said that he's been the best trainer all week and that, and then just to not give him a minute, I find it I just amusing. Do you know what I mean?
But he wasn't in his original squad, was he?
No, I mean I understand it. The first match, I understand, and he didn't even get amongst the substitutes, and I kind of got that, like I say, because they didn't pick him in the first squad. But since then, like he said, he's been the best trainer, and he's publicly spoke about how well he took when he rang him the second time to say, actually, can we call you up?
But England have won both games 2-0 and 3-0. So you can't really... I mean, I hear you as a Forest fan. I know you've got a dog in the fight, but... it's a tough one, isn't it? Because Go on.
I know what you mean. It's not just because I am a Forest fan, which obviously that's the main reason. It doesn't. I just think he really deserved it.
It's a tough area of the pitch as there's so much talent, from Morgan Rogers, who impressed in the Latvia game, to Ebere Eze, and of course some guy called Jude Bellingham you may have heard of. There still could be a place in the squad for a player like Gibbs-White, but when it comes to being a starter for the Three Lions, it's not looking great. Let us know in the comments your thoughts on England's winners and losers and who you think should be in the next squad. Thanks for joining me, and make sure you subscribe for all the latest football news here on talkSPORT.